Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily on CCTV. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is now time for Hello, Mr. President. It's a segment on the show that focuses solely on issues you're facing within your community and why policymakers should do something about it for you. If you have not yet done so, please take out your phone and record an up to 1-minute video of whatever problems you're facing. It doesn't matter if you're in Kumasi or you are in Takrade, wherever it is you find yourself in this country. If there's something hindering your growth, we want to hear it. In that 1-minute video, you can let us know what exactly is bothering you and what policymakers should do about it. Send that video to us via the email hello mrpresidenttv@gmail.com. Our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. And every Wednesday at 9:30, we'll play those videos and call on to policymakers to do something about it for you. All week long, we've been talking about education because we know that human capital is essential to our development. We can't get anywhere if we don't have quality human capital. And when you look at the state of some of our primary schools and our JHSs, it leaves much to be desired, especially if these group of people are the ones we are expecting to be competitive globally in a few years to come. We'll take a look at the video we received this week.
The problem with that particular dormitory is that we don't have any resident accommodation attached to the dormitories, especially the two of them. We have a very big, vast land over there, but the project actually covered only a portion. And as a portion has been allocated for the washrooms. So, in fact, housing the children over there or the students over there will be a major problem in the sense that those people who will be resident mistresses over there or masters over there will not be able to get a place to reside. So that is a major problem over there. Even as I'm speaking, the place has been connected with light, or we have the light fittings, but there is no light connected to the place at the moment. Though the contractors are saying that they have fixed the meters and all the things are in place, but the poles linking to the place is not enough. So that has created a problem. So moving the children to that place at the moment will be a major problem because they cannot be in darkness because their colleagues will be in where there is a visibility.
My name is Amola Elizabeth, and I am in Home Economics 3C. Yeah. So we face some challenges. Space in the dormitories. We don't have enough spaces. That is why you can see that some of the chobuses are left outside instead of it being in the dorm. And due to that, some of our things get missing too because there is no space. So we can't pack the chobuses inside the dorm so that it will become clumsy for us, yes. And the beds that we sleep on too, they are not that strong for us. They are so weak that sometimes when we sleep on it, we fall on each other, leading to injuries. And then our colleagues are yet to come. And already with the people that have already come earlier on, we are already full in the dorm. So our colleagues that are yet to come, they are coming to sleep outside due to the space. So you could see that the space, because of the space, some of our colleagues will be sleeping outside when they come back. And then the facilities. The tap too. You see, we used to wake up at 4:30. So when we wake up like that, we need enough taps and water so that...
So those are students from Keta Business College. Now, your teenage years are actually the most important years of your life because that's when you are becoming, you are incubating into whatever it is that you're going to be as an adult. These students are not in prison. They left the comfort of their homes to go to these schools for quality education. Now, even before you get to school, if you have to worry about how congested your dormitory is, if you have to think about the possibility of sleeping outside because there's no room for you to stay inside of the dormitory, if you have to worry about somebody stealing your things because you don't have a safe place to put it, how will you be able to spend the hours outside the classroom to do the research, to do your homework, to concentrate on envisioning the future that you want in the years to come? There's absolutely no way you can do that. These students are the ones we are expected to compete with other students who are in dormitories where maybe there are 10, 15 people in one room. There's constant flowing water. You don't have to think about leaving your chop box outside. You don't have to think about sleeping outside as if you're homeless. You don't have to make all these sacrifices just to get a quality education. When you have all these roadblocks, it does not make education attractive. Because when the kid is going to school, they're not thinking about the mathematics they are going to learn. They're not thinking about the science and how exciting it will be for them. They're not thinking about literature. They're thinking about the state of their dorms and how inhumane it is for them to be packed together as if they are prisoners. Prisoners don't even deserve this kind of treatment. So we have an old student on the line with us to help us understand if this has always been the case, because we know that they have an alternative building that has not been completed yet. And every week we talk about these issues, nothing is done about it. So on the line with me, I have Nicholas Maunya. Good morning, Nicholas. Nicholas, are you there? Good morning. Okay, we'll try and get a hold of Nicholas because I'm not able to hear him where I am. But if your child is experiencing something similar in a different school, we want to hear it, because part of education is what happens in the classroom. The bigger part of it is what happens outside of the classroom. So if you have two students in one class, both sitting in front of the class, they could all be concentrating on the subject that's being taught for whatever minutes they're in the classroom. If one student is able to spend 2 or 3 hours outside of that classroom on the subject matter, they're able to gain mastery. If the other student has to worry about dorm issues, someone stealing their things, sleeping outside, getting malaria because mosquitoes are biting them, that's productive hours that's stolen from them being able to concentrate on the subject they are learning in school. And it will reflect when their test results come. The one who can dedicate 1 or 2 or 3 hours to the subject material would obviously get A's because they're spending time mastering that subject. The other one who has to worry about all these distractions will not be able to excel. And if you don't excel in high school, whatever college you go to won't help you in future. Nicholas is back on the line with us. Good morning, Nicholas.
Good morning, CTFM.
How are you?
I'm doing well, please, and how are you too?
I'm great. My name is Jifa. Thank you so much for being with us. Can you please tell us a bit about the school and what your personal experience with it?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. The school's name is Keta Business College. It is located in Keta, in fact, it is the second oldest secondary school in the Keta area, and one of the oldest in the Volta region. And what has happened is that, or what is happening is that both the previous government and this government have tried to provide some dormitory blocks for the school. In fact, as I talk to you now, 2 dormitory blocks have been built for the school. Unfortunately, 3 years after completion of the dormitory blocks, the blocks are lying unoccupied. Whilst the girls in particular, because they are congested in their dormitories, the school is compelled to move some of them to classrooms. So they are using classrooms as their dormitory places, whilst we have these dormitories built lying unoccupied. Now, the result of this is that it has created classroom deficit in the school. Already, the school has huge classroom deficit as a challenge. But the situation of converting the existing classrooms or part of the existing classrooms to dormitories has come to worsen that deficit. So what is happening now is that you go to the school, some subject areas are teaching under 3. Others teach using the library facilities, and they use every available space that they can get. And it is creating so much of inconvenience, not only for the students, but also for the teachers as well. And to be very honest, as you have said in your intro, it is affecting teaching and learning in the school.
What reasons have they given to why the other buildings have not been completed? Because we were just looking at those buildings. They are beautifully done. They are painted well. They look like buildings that are fit for purpose. What's stalling its completion?
Yeah, very beautiful buildings they are. When we talk about the situation of 4 students, we have been told that though everything appears completed, the light has not been extended to the facilities. And because of light, that is why they are not able to convert the place to a proper place of habitation for the students. So at the moment, they will need to connect light. I think that's just the major work they need to do there. There's another thing they need to do. They need to provide an accommodation for the mistresses, the house mistresses who will be in charge of the facility. But for us, also, we think that light is the most important thing for now. And with the provision of the light, it will be possible for the school to then convert the place into dormitory for the girls, so that we can then see these spaces, the classroom spaces for the students. Then at least it helps solve part of our problem. So light is a major issue.
And what are the contractors saying about light? I don't think that if you've been able to do 85% of the job, 15%, which is the light, should be that difficult.
Yeah, as also we try to follow up on that, but we have not been told anything why the contractor has not been able to extend light to the place. And I would say for some time now, it's not been to site.
So how long have these new buildings been sitting there?
It's been lying there for 3 years now, please. 3
years?
Yes, please.
How do the students feel when they have to stay in these, inefficient buildings as dormitories, when they see the other ones just sitting there?
Yeah, it is creating a really inconvenience for the students, and the students do not feel comfortable. Now, the school situation is peculiar. It is one of those schools that do not have teachers on campus, because we do not have teachers or master's bungalows, teachers bungalows on campus. So at the moment, just 2 house resources stay on campus, and they stay with the main. They stay at the main dormitory facility. So those who have been moved to the classroom facilities, it means that there is no house mistress there to protect them or to protect their welfare. And that is how uncomfortable the situation can be. What it means is that itself can encourage indiscipline. Because, for example, in the night, nobody can tell what these girls do as to whether they run and scale the wall and go out of campus. Nobody can tell, because there's no house mistress there to take charge of them.
And what impact does this have on their ability to concentrate on their classroom work?
So much of impact. As I said, it is great. It has worsened the classroom deficit in the school. So what it means that the school, for example, if you take a subject like mathematics, which is supposed to be taught in a classroom using maybe blackboard or marker board, we have situations where mathematics is now being taught under trees or under any available space. And you agree with me that that cannot create a congenial atmosphere for teaching and learning to take place. Now, what it means is that even the students, the girls themselves, where they are not so comfortable. So even at their activity level, they are not comfortable. They move to classroom also, they are not comfortable. So it is creating all kinds of inconveniences. And these are girls we are talking about. We are not just talking about any kind of students. We're talking about girls.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nicholas, for being with us. We are going to talk to the MCE of the Keta area on this matter to really understand what they've been doing about it, because if we want the people of Keta, especially the young people of Keta, to survive and thrive in future, they need to have access to quality education, and it starts with providing a conducive environment for them to study. So thank you so much for being with us, Nicholas. And thank you at home for staying. It's still Hello, Mr. President. It's a segment that's dedicated solely to issues that you're facing in your communities. If you have a similar situation, we want to know, so please use the hashtag BreakfastDaily and the WhatsApp line 0550-585832. When we talk about quality education, we're not just looking at free education. We are looking at the kind of resources that are available to the student. We're looking at textbooks that are available. We're looking at the environment in which they are being taught. So Nicholas mentioned mathematics. You can teach math in a way that is interactive, in a way that the student can understand every single equation that will help them arrive at whatever answer they're supposed to get. But if you're teaching mathematics under a tree, there are too many distractions going on. The teacher doesn't even have enough resources to elaborate on whatever equation they are dealing with. Let's say the student doesn't understand the formula and they need to spend time on it. They get home and they have to deal with their gari being missing or their mattress not being there. They cannot concentrate. And if that student can't concentrate on the matter, they won't excel in that subject. And if they don't excel in that subject, they won't get into that university. And if they don't get into that university, they won't excel in future. So it starts when they are in primary school. It starts when they are in JHS. It starts when they are in SHS. When we as a society fail them by not giving them the resources they need, it becomes more difficult for them to even rise out of poverty. But if we succeed at giving them the dormitories that they need, giving them a spacious place to sleep at night, giving them resources to be able to think clearly and focus on their studies, then they can excel in their WASSCEs. Then they can get into the big universities in the country and in the world. Then they can come back from uni and contribute to the development of this nation. But when we fail to do that, we can't judge them when they finish and they are unemployed and they are a security threat to all of us. And that's why this matters. And the sad thing about this Keta Business College situation is that there's a school there. There's an alternative that's been sitting there for the past 3 years. You've done the hard work. All that needs to be done is provide electricity for them. How difficult can it possibly be to give young students access to electricity? Because they will need electricity to study at night. They will need electricity to do everything. When we do that, we're telling them that we are not prioritizing their needs. So we're trying to get a hold of the MCE. We want to ask him exactly what they've been doing to engage the authorities to solve this problem. Why is the contractor also dragging his feet? Is it that maybe they've not been paid? If they've not been paid, whose duty is it to pay them? The current education minister, Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, is one of the people who spearheaded the charter school system in the United States. The charter school system was supposed to help students do better, students who are struggling under the public school system in the US. So it's not something that's foreign to him. It's been done elsewhere. We're not even asking these schools to be at the standard of charter schools because they don't even meet the standards of public schools in the US. So if you've been able to successfully implement this in somebody else's country, it shouldn't be rocket science for us to be able to provide quality education for all students in Ghana, and not just education in the classroom, education outside of the classroom, because that's where the bulk of the work is done. Again, this is Hello, Mr. President, and it's a segment that we're very passionate about because it's a segment that focuses on you, the viewer, you at home, irrespective of wherever you come from. You deserve to have your basic right to life. You deserve to have the basic right to education, basic right to a decent health care. So if there's something happening in your community that's depriving you of that, please take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. Also use the WhatsApp line 0550-585832. And every Wednesday, we will call onto the policymakers to ask them exactly why they've not done right by you and what they plan on doing moving forward. We have the MC of Keta on the line. His name is Eduji Efa. Good morning, Mr. Efa.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
You're live on City TV. We just watched a video of some students from the Keta Business College showing us the environment they have to sleep in every single day, which is really not conducive to the studies that they have to do. What do you know about this problem?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. I was asking you about the Keta Business College. Your students say that there's a brand new dormitory building that's been sitting there for 3 years. Meanwhile, they have to deal with congestion in their current dormitory. Some of them are sleeping outside. Some of them are learning under trees. And we want to know what you've heard from your time serving the people.
All right. Good morning to you at the studio there, and then good morning to your viewers and listeners. As a matter of fact, this issue came to my desk, and the management of the assembly is seriously working at this to make sure that the problem is fixed. It's true we have 2 new dormitory blocks over there, but it has a few things to be done on it for the students to move in. One is to do with electricity. Secondly, is a manhole. They have to do the connections from the main building to the manhole. as we speak now, the ECG district manager for Keta was with me on Monday. We discussed all this, and then he promised moving his engineers to the school within the week to fix that. And that of the manhole, we have called the contractor to come back to site, and then we will support him to do that from our own resources. Then later, when Get Fund pays them, then he will reimburse the assembly. So this is the effort we have made so far. We are so much concerned about the problem, and then we would make sure by next week we make the students feel comfortable in the school there.
But Mr. Effa, it's been 3 years. What were you doing in those 3 years to help them? Was anybody trying to even solve this earlier before it became a national issue?
Actually, the issue came to us last month.
The issue came to you when?
Myself, the works engineer, the coordinating director, and a few other people went to the school to see what is really on the ground.
When were you informed of the issue, Mr. Effa?
Pardon me?
When were you informed about the issue?
And that was last month.
Last night is when you found out about this problem?
Last month.
Last month is when you found out about this issue?
May.
In May?
Yes. So we were there as management. We went to ascertain the problems, and we have started working on it. So we can give a promise that before the end of June, we should fix all these problems for our cherished students to move there and then feel comfortable.
Okay, Mr. Effa, so we will call you in exactly 1 month, and hopefully you will have some good news for us as far as the students being able to, you know, get better dormitories, because I don't think that's something that should be too difficult for you to be able to do, and the other policymakers.
Yes, that is where some of us are coming from. We were born and bred there. Our nephews are there, our nieces are there. Let me say,
that makes it a bit surprising that you've not known all these years.
So as the problem arises now, it's something that we have to show much interest in and resolve. So in a month's time, I think less than that, you'll hear good news.
Thank you very much, Mr. Effa, for being with us. And of course, we'll be following up with the Old Students Association as well of this Keta Business College to ensure that authorities are actually doing what they're supposed to do. The contractors are bringing electricity in. They are connecting their buildings to the manhole for these students to have a nice environment to be able to sleep at night so that they can thrive and perform well academically. Again, Hello, Mr. President is a segment that focuses on you, our viewer, on issues that are affecting you. So if there are any problems you're dealing with in your community, please take out your phone and record an up to 1-minute video. Send that video to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. And every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m., we'll play those videos and call onto the policymakers to do something about it for you.